You get a word salad, you get a word salad, you get a word salad. Well, if you haven't heard, Kamala Harris did a open forum type Zoom call, meeting, rally with Oprah Winfrey, and it turned out to be absolutely disastrous. Before I jump into it, just take a look. This is a real clip. This isn't fake news. This isn't AI generated. This really happened at the Oprah Winfrey roundtable Zoom rally meeting with Kamala Harris, her big moment after the debate. It all falls apart. Take a look and we'll jump into this.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
Will the real Kamala Harris please stand up? Please stand up. I don't know. Did we just hear the Yankee black Kamala Harris, the Southern black Kamala Harris? Did we hear the Jewish Hanukkah Kamala Harris? Did we hear the Kwanzaa Kamala Harris, the Indian Kamala Harris, the Jamaican Kamala? Which Kamala Harris was that? The pro-gun Kamala Harris? It's like we have no idea who this woman is. And it goes back, it's just all this goes to show you. This whole Oprah Winfrey interview goes to show you that whatever happened on that debate stage, whether you believe it was some kind of radio device in her ear, I'm not buying it. Or whether you just think that I think the real truth to this is that she had those questions at the CNN interview. I covered it on FAWKS News here. It's one of my first episodes. It's her CNN interview. She butchered it. She failed miserably. It was 2 weeks before the debate. But guess what? She got those questions. She failed them miserably. And they gave her the same exact questions 2 weeks later. If you took a test and you failed that test and they gave you the answers to that test and then told you were going to get a retake 2 weeks later and they were going to give you the same questions, how do you think you would fare on said test? I think it's exactly what happened. But what we can all agree on objectively is whatever we saw on that debate stage is not the real Kamala Harris, because she can't seem to get it right any other time. And here she is on the Oprah Winfrey roundtable, Zoom rally meeting, whatever she called the daggone thing. And she butchers every question once again. Now, some people went virals on the Twitters talking about how there was a teleprompter. The teleprompter was there for Oprah Winfrey and it was for ad reads. You could absolutely tell. I've already read them. I've already looked into it. And there is no way, there's no chance in hell that Kamala is reading from a teleprompter and answering questions like that. Unless whoever's running the teleprompter just wants to commit treason somehow, like Kamala, Democrat, DNC treason. Because there's no way that they would put any of that on there. It's preposterous, but it doesn't stop there. She also went on to steal other people's TikTok and entertainer or influencer content to then use it to kind of promote herself. Again, it's fake. Again, just like the DOJ data that just came out on top of the fact checkers that you guys trust so much, all those mainstream media, big government fact checkers that told you crime is down. And the DOJ finally releases a report that's like, actually, crime is up. Biden and Harris for the debate and the fact checkers were pulling off the FBI survey, and nearly half the major cities in the United States and half of all of the cities in the United States actually participated in the survey. So the fact checkers were wrong yet again. We'll just add that to the list, right behind Michael Brown, right behind the list of Breonna Taylor case, or the Hunter Biden laptop, or the Ashley Biden diary, or the Mar-a-Lago. Like, we'll just leave that to their list of misinformation that mainstream media has put out. And here they are stealing content from influencers who then have to go, and by the way, totally respect this TikTok influencer's lighting, her makeup, her hair. She really went hard in the paint to create this content to defend herself. Let me read you the article real quick. First is from the dailymail.uk. A right-wing social media influencer has been forced to clarify her position on the 2024 presidential race after a firestorm of confusion caused by one of the most powerful women in media, Oprah Winfrey. Trump supporter Blair Allison, please go follow her, Blair Allison, came forward publicly to insist that she does not support Vice President Kamala Harris after her TikTok post was featured in the town hall hosted by Oprah, which, by the way, they you would think it's somebody as big as Oprah, as big as Kamala, that they would seek and ask permission, but here they can't. They're desperate, guys. They're desperate to have any kind of social influence, rather than having to pay influencers to make them content. It's not like Donald Trump, who just has guys like Tom McDonald doing this out of their own pocket because they actually support him or support the movement or the idea of a lesser government, of a non-big industrial military government. You got guys like conservative Anthony, Blake Reynolds, all producing content. They're not being paid, but the left is having to produce these like fake social media influencer. Like, remember the BET Awards with Kamala, where she does that fake phone call, and she's like, "Girl, they not like us," and they're like, they're not like us, and it's very odd and staged and scripted, and it wasn't even very good. And here we go again with the old stealing of the so they just, whoever is doing Kamala Harris's social media needs to be fired immediately, because they absolutely are terrible. It's like they have like a whole bunch of like boomers running it or something. I'm not sure. Take a look at this.
Oprah Winfrey Show, and of all people to be her guest, let me show you who it was.
18 to 34 say that the cost of living is their top issue ahead of the election. Let's take a look.
Groceries are extremely expensive right now.
I don't understand how people are affording life right now.
Do I look good? Okay. To my Americans, let me make something perfectly clear, okay? I do not support Harris for president, okay? I want to be unburdened by who has been in the White House the last 3.5 years.
Well played. Well played. She does a great job. Listen, you can go and follow her at TikTok. That's her name right there. Blaire Allison, Blaire Allison. Go and follow her on the TikToks, on the Instagrams, and on the X's, and watch it for yourself. I don't want to ruin the whole content, but it does get better from there. But this whole interview thing gets worse. I want to play one more quick clip for you guys. We'll get you out of here. If you want the entire Oprah Winfrey interview, please hit the show notes here. Hit the link. It's the entire interview. Watch it for yourself. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it was a disaster, or do you think she played it off better than you thought? I'd love to know your opinion on these things. Let me put this question out there for you guys, this last little video. We'll get out of here.
Hi, Madam Vice President. It's nice to be with you all.
Yes.
Hi.
And so, what did you want to say to the vice president?
So, Madam Vice President, we are, like many, many young Americans, just experiencing a very high cost of living. We ended up giving up our apartment, moving in with our parents, who were so gracious to take us in for over a year so that we could save money and ultimately buy a home, because that's what we thought the American dream was, to get married and buy a home and have a baby. And
you thought that's what the American dream was? You thought, or is it the American dream to own a house? Listen, you let your ego down. You moved in with your in-laws. Got nothing wrong with that. Great move. Chasing the American dream takes sacrifice. Just watched Swiss Family Robinsons with my family the other night. That's the way it was. That's the way it works. When you were chasing the Oregon Trail, or you were chasing the gold rush, whatever it was the American dream was for you in America, you had to chase it. So living at you, making sacrifices, moving with your in-laws is something that comes with chasing the American dream. So I don't understand how you thought the American dream was buying a house and having a baby. You thought that was the American dream. Honey, that is the American dream.
now here we are, and our mortgage is incredibly higher than what we thought it would be. And my sister and our brother-in-law are living with us right now so that they can.
So those same parents that you move into them for a year and a half, they didn't coach you or guide you into buying this new house, chasing this American dream. I don't understand how I get the cost of living might have screwed you over, but the mortgage, you weren't surprised by the mortgage. You knew the mortgage. That was spelled out to you, written out to you. You signed several documents. You understood the mortgage. I mean, I bought a house 15 years ago, and even 15 years ago, they made damn sure that I understood what my mortgage was and what my mortgage payment was. It's the cost of living that screwed you over. You gotta come off of the script that they gave you and be honest here. You didn't expect the cost of living to go up 15%. You didn't expect that all the things like the eggs and the milk and the gas and all the things that you need to survive, you didn't expect those to go up around you. Your mortgage didn't go up. All the cost of living around you went up.
And hopefully one day do the same. And while it's beneficial for us because they help us pay off some of our mortgage, it's also beneficial for them because they can save on cheaper rent. But we really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently.
Are you going to land this plane?
Are
we just going to fly circles around the airport, or are you going to land this damn thing?
And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries. So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging. Which is when, you know, most companies and corporations are good, but for those bad ones.
Is that the problem right now with the cost of grocery, the cost of living? Are you guys suffering? Leave me a note in the comments. Are you guys suffering from price gouging? Name one company that's affecting the nation nationwide that's price gouging. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm uneducated to it, but I like price gouging is the one thing I wasn't thinking about when it came to lowering the cost. You know what that sounds a lot like? It sounds a lot like supply and demand is out the window, and now we're just gonna we're gonna go with the communist. If you're gonna be a bread maker, you can only charge this for your bread. If you're going to have chickens that get burnt up and all these like weird chicken burning, you know, these chicken flus and all these other things that are going across our farms that, you know, nobody's really covering, we're going to lose all these chickens and the price of eggs. Or we say that like the eggs always are going to have to be the same, guys. We're going to have to keep the price of the eggs the same. Everything's got to be the same. Because when we fail, when we give trillions of dollars over to Ukraine and the cost of everyday goods goes up because of taxes and inflation, all the other things, and makes us look bad. So we just need to we need to kind of put in some like communist rule here. Make everything the same. That's what it sounds like. Because I don't know one thing. I bet you my mortgage payment next month that Kamala doesn't know one company that's price gouging nationwide that's affecting us all nationwide on our day-to-day lives.
They take advantage of people, especially during a pandemic or extreme weather, and they end up jacking up prices, and there needs to be accountability and consequence for that. So I'm going to be taking on price gouging. But it's also about dealing with what we need to do around home ownership, right? So as someone mentioned during this film, look, I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister. And she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home. And we grew up actually for a long time in an apartment on top of a childcare center.
Is she thinking the same thing I'm thinking? Like she's giving that look like, come on, lady, come on.
That was owned by the woman we called our second mother because she helped my mother raise us. And she was a small business owner, Michelle.
I can't do this. It's supposed to be short formatted content. I can't. She's just going to fly this plane over and around and around and around. And eventually she's going to get, at one point, Oprah literally looks over at the camera like, are we still doing this? Like, what is going on? Like, this is the worst interview of all time. I can't believe Oprah didn't interrupt and take control of this. I thought she was better at interviews than that. Maybe she got scared. Maybe she got spooked. Maybe she was, I don't know. Maybe it's because it was the vice. I don't know. I don't know why Oprah didn't shut this down. She just let this just spiral out of control and crash, much like I'm doing right now. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you like my short format content, you want the long formatted content, head over to Failure Stop Podcast channel, hit the show notes, watch this entire plane crash, this entire train wreck on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. As G.I. Joe always says, if you didn't know about the Oprah Winfrey Kamala Harris interview, now you do know. And knowing is half the battle.